Yo, I was asked about the transit Sun conjunct Neptune. So we're going to get into this now. So, me being a Pisces is probably impacts me more than people who aren't a Pisces. Nonetheless, though, you will experience the Sun conjunct Neptune this year, again, around February 20th to March 20th. So, I'm going to talk about last year because it's still fresh in my mind. I can recall what was going on last year now. So, um, first off, when we're talking about the planet Neptune, right, we're talking about things that inspire you. We're talking about the bigger vision, the vision as a visionary, like whatever vision that you hold dear to yourself, is probably the biggest thing that you want to do in your life when Neptune is involved. And it may not, at the same time, it may not be the most area in life that you're confident about. And I mean that in an outward sense. You get what I'm saying? Like you could be 100% sure that it's gonna happen. It needs inside. You're gonna feel like it needs to happen. In your imagination, you're gonna feel like no doubt about it is going to happen in your lifetime. Like it's that big of a deal. However, outwardly, you may feel outnumbered, outmaneuvered, not enough resources. All of those doubts could swim through your mind when Neptune is around because there's so much deception going on. You understand what I'm saying? You may think, so it's like if you look at the planet Saturn, you think, okay, I move diligently according to the things that I want to do, especially the biggest thing in my life that I want to do, right? Saturn, you do the work, plant the seeds, eventually it grows. You don't really know how fucking long it's going to take to grow, but it's going to grow. And you see little sprouts, you see a leaf here, you see a leaf here. So you gain confidence through that. With Neptune, it's different. The boat gets rocked that way, that way, that way. So things that you do, I'm going to keep it on myself, right? Things that I do that I'm thinking applies to my dream, the biggest dream or thing that I want to bring into fruition from my vision in life, is actually taking me for a ride that I didn't expect. So it's like when you hear the saying that, yeah, and tarot readers say this a lot. They say you're gonna do something big, but it's not going to happen the way you think it's going to happen. That's what the Neptune conjunct Sun transit is like. It's a reminder of the biggest inspiration that you hold within you. And it's also a reminder that there's going to be some things that occur in your life that prevent you from doing it. And that's the psych move right there. You're gonna look at your dream, your inspiration, be like, damn, I done held this vision for like 6 years now. What the fuck is going on? Why it ain't manifest? Why it ain't happen yet? Why it ain't happen yet? And it's just merely because it's not going to happen the way you think it's going to happen. So I'll give you some more clarity, right? Like last year or this year rather. Happy New Year, everybody, by the way. But for me, this is not Happy New Year. You know what I'm saying? But I just go along with it because I like being optimist. I like being optimistic. You know what I'm saying? I choose to be optimistic. Optimism is a choice. So for those of you who celebrate Happy New Year on today, that's good for y'all. Happy New Year to y'all. Me, I'm more of the spring type. You know what I'm saying? That's the original real New Year. And for me and for everyone, your New Year really begins on your birthday. But I digressed a little bit. But maybe not so much because my birthday is March 1st and we're talking about the Sun conjunct Neptune, right? So let's get back to it. So this year when the conjunct happened that just passed, 2023, right? You could feel the orb of Saturn moving in on Pisces. It was right on the cusp, right on the edge of Aquarius, about to go into Pisces, right? This feeling was a feeling of heavy responsibility, all right? Heavy responsibility. I know we're talking about Neptune, but you got to understand, right? Not only was the Sun coming to conjunct with Pisces, Saturn was conjunct with Neptune. Saturn was coming to conjunct with Neptune too. It's it's a powerful transit that's happening. You understand what I'm saying? And even today, because Saturn went retrograde and now it's coming back to Pisces. You understand? So with that, it's just like, yo, the reminder from the sun, because the sun is going to turn the lights on during that transit, like, yo, this is the focal point. Remember this? So for me, right, one of my biggest dreams and aspirations is to make a movie, right? But it's something that's swimming through my mind most of the time without really putting much application into it, because it just feels like it's getting away from me. And then I come up with new ideas on how to make this happen, right? And the reason why it hasn't happened yet is, well, there's a few reasons. One of the reasons is I was thinking too small. And I don't mean by like making a small film, a short film and all that. No, that's already in the process. That's not thinking small, y'all. I don't want y'all to think that you got to go spend $300 million on a blockbuster Hollywood type movie in order to make a movie. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is I was thinking too small on the way of building the momentum, building the concept, building the advertising, building the audience to watch this movie, right? Because if you got something that you've been wanting to do for the majority of your life, what happens is this, and this is what happened when the lights came and got turned on in Conjunct and Neptune. It said, yo, you remember you're going to do this film, right? So everything about film, my YouTube feeds started popping up with, because here and there I'll watch like tutorials on filmmaking, especially short films and stuff like that, because I want to come from a novice perspective. I want to make like a fucking shitty B-rated movie with mad titties and just horror, little gore here and there sprinkled around, but not just overkill. You understand what I'm saying? I want to make some trashy but dope ass shit like that. I know some of y'all, I don't know if y'all are movie fanatics like that, but I know a lot of movie fanatics that just love B-rated, trashy horror flicks with titties everywhere. So that's the kind of dude I am, right? So the sun comes in the transits, conjuncts with Neptune, light goes off. My news feed start popping up with mad film shit automatically. And I told you, like, rarely, here and there sprinkled around, I'll watch a video like that. Otherwise, my feed is filled with various different types of things, but along the lines of 3 or 4 different types, right? The algorithm already kicks in when the transit comes, boom, I'm seeing things about film, so I'm inspired all over again. The inspiration is going to bubble up inside you when that sun conjuncts Neptune to bring outward the biggest thing that you have inside, right? So now I'm looking at all this shit, I'm like, yeah, I'm hyped, I'm getting excited, right? So my birthday coming around, my birthday March 1st. So I'm like, okay, boom. Saturn, I believe, touched down March 7th in Pisces. But like I said, you could feel the orb of the responsibility to do that shit. When Saturn gets there, it's like, yo, you're going to do this shit. You understand what I'm saying? And I know we're talking about Sun conjunct Neptune, but I got to bring Saturn into play because I'm bringing it up to speed in the modern times. You know what I'm saying? You're going to experience this type of feeling this year. So I'm at that point in my life, right? I'm getting hype all over again. Like, yeah, I'm going to do it. So then I'm like, hold on. I could do it like this and I could do it like that. More steps of structure started coming in with Saturn there. Without Saturn there, the sun conjunct Neptune is going to amplify the sea of thoughts that is already going to be there from Neptune being there. And you feel on top of the world. It feels euphoric because I don't care what you're going through in life. You're going to feel euphoric when the sun conjuncts Neptune because you realize that everything is connected, everything is one. You went through everything you went through for this moment right now. This is a moment of clarity. And this is as bright as it's going to get probably throughout the year because everything else seems foggy. Everything other than that, it feels like a dream. Like, it's tough being a Pisces. I don't know what sign you are, real. It's tough being a Pisces with your ruling planet there because you feel like the real alien of the world. You feel like you're living this is how it feels like. It feels like everyone else is living their dream in real time and your dream is just bubbling. So I think, is that a question that somebody asked me too? What's my thoughts on when Neptune's going to transit Aries? I think that's an additional question. If it is, I'm going to answer that too, probably right after this. Because I believe that the true implementation of that dream doesn't take place until Neptune moves into Aries. Because Aries is the starter. Do you understand what I'm saying? Aries is when the energy is going to be all compiled in the headpiece to where it says, okay, now we're going to begin this thing. Now we're going to set it off. Now we're going to start it. You know what I'm saying? It'll be second house for Pisces people. So the resources are more than likely going to be there, with the ruling planet being in the house of resources. So it makes things simpler to do as well. But this is something that's going to be important as well for those watching and want to know. I got to keep putting Saturn into this equation because it's very important. I'm going to tell you what it showed me, what Saturn showed me, that no matter what the Sun-Neptune conjunction brings and makes you feel inside, right? See that Pisces mug? It's a gift. I got to hit up my friend. What up, friend, if you're watching? So look, right? Bought me that mug. So you're going to see the steps to take to structure your dream. And the power of Saturn is it brings realism into something. It brings realism to imagination. Best way to put it. So what I've learned is the points, ascendant, descendant, midhaven, icy, the points will have their way. So I've mentioned this before in other videos that these are the most important points in the zodiac wheel. And I'm not saying that it makes any other area less than, but they will have their way as starting things and getting things moving. And this is what I've learned. I've learned that the reason why sometimes the imagination or the doubts can seep into the mind when the Sun conjuncts Neptune is because first you realize that you got to take certain steps in order to bring your dream into fruition. And the other factor is it's not going to happen the way that you expected or plan it to happen. And third, you need the points to be activated. You need those points to be activated. More importantly, the midhaven. So let me clarify. The midhaven is responsible for what you're recognized for, what you're known for. All right? So not to even drag it out too long, think about any actor or actress, right? And this is a good profession to use because Neptune rules over the glamour world. So think about any actor or actress that did not initially start their journey in their career as an actor or an actress. They got pulled into it. And you can even use movies to where they already had like a good cast, but they brought somebody else in who was very popular at that time. So it's like insert here. And then when you hear that this person is going to be playing in the movie, you're going to be like, what? What happens? The ticket sales increase because that individual is going to be bringing their audience from a whole different area into that film. Get where I'm going with this? So it's like this. I said the points will have their day. So the midhaven will have its day. Whatever you're recognized and known for is going to be the catalyst for making the biggest inspiration that you hold within Neptune to come into fruition. This is what happens when the Sun conjuncts Neptune. It's going to show you that. The lights are going to get turned on. It's going to click off in your head like, oh shit. And you may feel a little stupid at that point because you may be thinking, like I said, you had a plan on how this is going to go. All I got to do is just work on my film, work on the screenplay, work on the pictures and the photography. Yeah, sure, you got to do that, but you think that just doing the work is what's going to get you to get that thing to happen when it's not. Neptune is way too big. It's the biggest. It's the biggest vision. It's your vision. It doesn't play small. It doesn't play small. So what you need is your audience. Because I must clarify this, right? Because when I say play small and play big, I don't want people thinking you got to go make a $3 million movie. I don't want you thinking that you need big budgets, big cast, and all of the resources in the world to make your movie. No. What you need is your audience, because Neptune is the bigger picture, right? So as many people as possible, Neptune, Pisces, 12th house rules over large institutions. So the biggest audience that you can possibly gather is what you will need to bring your biggest inspiration outward into the world. All right. And this could range from anything from the environment to serving people, helping people, health, and in of course the glamour world. You understand what I'm saying? So the midhaven, wherever your midhaven is, think about this right now. It may be in the sign of Taurus. So you may be known for something that's artsy. You may be known for something that's financially related. And you don't even think, you might be a banker and you might be like, well, I'm not going to make a movie, or I'm not going to make a music album, or but you always had this thought in your mind. You might have played the fucking saxophone as a kid and you're just like, oh shit, you're going to fucking have a saxophone band, and you're going to do it like all of a sudden, because you're going to be known in that other area that's going to connect you to the people and the resources that you need to bring that dream into fruition. You understand? So that's what the conjunction feels like. It feels like the intensity of, don't give up on your biggest hopes and your biggest dreams, and everything that you imagine can come true for you. It's going to be a reminder, but you got to remember, Neptune is so big, it's so huge, and it's a generational planet that is not going to be as rapidly produced as something feels when the personal planets are transiting. Dig? It's more about the sun. Yeah, the sun is going to transit, but the sun just turns the lights on, turns on your focus and your concentration. And you got to remember, that's fleeting too. That's going to last, 30 days, right? So you got 30 days to get busy on at least journaling, jotting down the things that are relative to that dream. Now, also, whatever house is natally holding those planets, they're going to play a role in this as well. So like me, I'm a 6th house sun. So health is real big when that conjunction happens. I'm big on health. I'm going to get all types of fruits and vegetables. I might make them at home with my blender instead of going to get smoothies from the store and shit like that. Like, it gets like that. You know what I'm saying? I start researching a bunch of, herbs, minerals, and things like that to enhance my health. Another thing that was really on my mind during the transit is I don't like how people are buying up. I'm going to just keep it a bean without saying people's names. I don't like how people are buying up farmland all over the place and simultaneously have a hand in plant-based foods that are genetically modified or engineered in labs. It's not real food. It really takes away from the fabric that's connected to Neptune. Neptune is not having that shit. I know things could look real scary and they look like, oh, the people or the land are not going to win. Yes, the fuck we are. Yes, we are. And you just got to look at it like the dislikes that I have about what I just explained that happens during that transit. They're there as an opposition to the people who don't like plant-based shit, don't like genetically modified foods, don't approve of them being in all the stores on the shelves now like it's a normal thing and it's supposed to be that way. Like we have some type of scarcity in the land that can't produce enough food for the people. It's a whole bunch of bullshit. But in order for the rebellion to begin, you got to have that opposition to get you hyped. You know what I'm saying? So I can even find it in my writings, and you'll find it in my writings as well, how that's applied in my writings, because that shit is held dear to Neptune. Neptune rules over the environment. So whenever the environment is being done dirty, you're going to be, like, you'll walk outside during the conjunction and you'll be disgusted with trash all over the ground, and you'll be looking into how you could reach out to politicians behind the scenes too, because it's a cloaked planet, Neptune. It's a cloaked planet, so you're not going to be online trying to tag your buddies and shit like that, like, yo, this, that, and the third is happening. Now you're going to be thinking of very subtle, even sneaky ways on how to get your point across and get this thing to happen because it's that big. Think about what I'm saying, like to take on people that are that resourceful to go against the planet, you got to be able to counter in a way that is so huge that it makes an impact. What better way to do that than film, right? So you could say what you want. People could say what they want about Hollywood and, you know, the imagery and the weird shit that goes on out there. The impact of a film, however, just think about put your favorite movie in the comment section. Think about your favorite movie and how that shit impacted you and inspired you to, I don't know, if you watch Rocky, you want to box all of a sudden, or you feel like you can take on the challenges that's in your world. You know what I'm saying? Like, the impact of film is very impactful because it reaches such a wide audience. You get what I'm saying? That's how that conjunction feels. And so that's another thing. Just look at where natally, what house Neptune rules over, which is Pisces. Look where your Pisces is located. Also look where natally where Neptune is in your chart as far as the house goes, because it's going to angle wherever Neptune is at currently. You get what I'm saying? So it's like, I'm gonna use myself as an example because it's easier to explain. So for me, Neptune is in my 3rd house. All right. Now, in the transit, during the transit, it's in my 1st house. That's a square. So there's another thing that's going to make one feel a bit uncomfortable when trying to bring your dream about. If you're experiencing a current transit that is squaring or opposing or in conjunct your natal Neptune, then you're going to feel a bit uncomfortable because you see the obstacles, you feel the obstacles more than anything, and you're like, man. And then when you're thinking logically based upon astrology and astrological transits, you're like, man, this probably isn't going to come into play until I get a more easier transit, such as a sextile, such as a trine, etc. You get what I'm saying? Maybe even a conjunction of natal Neptune to current Neptune. But you got to remember that Neptune is a generational planet that takes a long time to transit. So can you wait it out? Can you stick it out? Sure you can, because it's the biggest dream that you ever held in your life. So sure you can. And this is even more why I said probably when Neptune goes into Aries, a person like me is going to feel more able to produce this big inspiration, this big dream that I have in my imagination, because it will then be trine my natal Neptune. You understand what I'm saying? So also the natal Neptune plays a role in the implementation of your dream as well, because I realized that my community, 3rd house, community, communicating and within my community, is a perfect idea to apply to the film. So again, you might be thinking, like, if you're thinking in the same vein as me, in the same profession, you might be thinking, well, I got to go to LA to make this film. You know, I gotta meet people in Hollywood. I know a few people in Hollywood. You know what I'm saying? So that helps. But it doesn't mean that you gotta leave I gotta leave because I got Neptune in my 3rd house, which is my community. I could bring Hollywood to New York. You understand what I'm saying? And when you overlook these things, it brings stress because you don't. This is important. You don't have to think that you gotta follow trends or do things a certain way that other people have done it. You gotta live your life according to your natal chart, yo. So when these transits come, you can better interpret how to live your natal life, because your natal life is ultimately your life, you know, but you got to utilize the transits in order to obtain the optimal natal chart. And that's how this astrology thing goes. It gets simpler, you know what I mean? If that sounded a bit confusing, just get in the comment section and I'll clarify in the comment section, you know what I mean? But moreover, that's what it feels like when the sun conjuncts Neptune. The biggest dreams, inspirations, aspirations that you have drawn up from your imagination, it gets highlighted, emphasis gets put on it, and then you have to be a detective of some sort, because again, it's gonna get foggy. When the sun comes, it's gonna be clear, but when it leaves, it's gonna be foggy, and they're not gonna be most in tune until you get those transits that are sextile, trine, and of course the conjunction. All right, I'm out.